Hi everyone, so today we're looking at a gatefold box card. It's not truly a box, it's more of a card that you can put a gift card in or something very flat, but it does give you a lot of opportunity to decorate up a lovely card. So I have a belly band on here, so I'm going to slip that off. And when we open it, there is your box card. Lies flat because you've got these little gussets on it, and it's beautifully finished inside. I will show you at the end how to make it even bigger, but for the moment we're going to look at the basic fold. Okay, so there it goes. On goes its belly band. Always make sure that this is loose enough that somebody's not going to damage the card opening it. There we go, slide that on. So put that to one side. This is another version that I've done from a hunky-dory topper, a whopper topper. This was the greeting that went with it. And I've used two of the whopper toppers. One I cut in half to go either side, and when I open it there's the slightly bigger picture in the inside. There were some strips down here which I've used to fill up the card because this one didn't stretch quite enough. So there we go, there's a couple of samples, and there's another one to see at the end of the video. Put those to one side. So what we're going to use is, the main card is A4, and I've taken it down to 28 by 21. It makes the measurements much easier to use. So that is all the bit that comes off. So I've got 28 by 21. Right, with it portrait, we're going to score at 3.5 and 17.5. Now I want this pattern piece to be the back of the card. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard on the centimetre side, turn it over, and I'm going to score at 3.5 and 17.5. Okay. Now I've got a double-ended tool. What I like to do, oops, slipped there. What I like to do is to go down, there we go, with a smaller bore tool afterwards. It makes the fold a lot easier. Right. We're then going to turn it landscape, and we want to score at 7, 10.5, 17.5, 21. So we go 7, 10.5, 17.5 and 21. Go back with the smaller tool and just reinforce those. Right, there's one more thing we have to do. So this was 28. We're going to notch at 14. And this bit here, we need to score a gusset. Now I prefer to do it with my score tool and a ruler. So I'm going to just put that up there for you, and I'm going to mark my line there. You don't have to do this because you will find it easy to see, but for the purpose of the video it's easier for you to see this one. So I'm going to my top mark at 14, which is halfway, and I'm going to score down to that first score line. Okay, turn it round and corner to corner. This is going to be so that the gusset folds nicely. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is simply reinforce all of those folds. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn it round, and we're now going to do the long, make sure I've got that right, now it's skewed off slightly. Right, so there are all bits. Now we've got a little bit of cutting to do. What we're going to do is to cut along the score line up to the second score line. So we're working towards this centre panel. So I'm going to take my scissors and I want to cut the score line off. So I'm going to come down and carefully come down this side, the inside of the score line to there. So I'm going to repeat that all the way round. Be accurate with your cutting. So always up to that second line. There we go. So I've 4 large flaps. Now I don't need all of those, so I'm going to cut along this second line here. So I just want a tab that I can glue the box together with. So there we go. Get rid of the rubbish. Now if we go back, I've left the score line on here, on this outer piece. So what I'm going to do now is just snip and get rid of it. Just taking out a tiny wedge to make it easier. And last one, there we go. So let's have a look what we've got now. Okay, so I've got my 2 outside flaps. This is going to fold in eventually and make the centre of my gatefold. Right. These are going to come in, and this little score lines we've done here, I'm just going to give them a quick bend. There we go. Those are going to come in and fix down like that. Okay, it will all make sense. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put glue on these 4 flaps, but I want to make sure that my glue comes right up to this line. Now it doesn't matter whether you use double-sided tape or wet glue. I like wet glue because it gives me a little bit of extra wiggle room. So I'm going to take the wet glue and coming carefully down that edge. I have a couple of minutes wiggle room so I can do all 4. And I'm going to use my trusty clips, which I use in all my box making. Right, so the flaps are going to the inside. I'm going to fold that back. Now I could put it, see if I can get it showing right. If I just fold it up there, these don't meet. It's because the score line needs to be moved slightly. A score line can be 1/4 inch out, right? Because if you're, depending on your card, it can go one side or the other of your score line, and it's not the fault of the scoreboard. So let's fold this one up. Always make sure these are at right angles, and I'm making sure that my clips are tight up to the edge. So I'll go round, make sure this is the last one, so it's a little bit down, so just push on that, and that is nicely lined up. So there we have a box that looks like a little table. So I'm going to put that aside for a moment and just let that glue go off. Because what we want to do now is to do some patterned panels. So the pattern itself is going to be 6 by 13 and we need 3 of them. So what I've done, from an A4 sheet, I've cut 13 centimetres all the way along. I'm then going to put in this, and I'm going to cut 6 centimetres to 6 centimetres. Right, I need this bit in a minute, but I want to concentrate on my 3 panels here. Right. I want 3 contrast mats which are 6.5 by 13.5, and I've decided I'm going to go for black. The decoupage that I'm going to use is this little tea set with the bird and the flowers, and I just figured that the black would pick up the black of the bird's eye and things. So we'll open that later. So from an A4 sheet, I've cut 13.5 centimetres. I've also cut a 3 centimetre piece, which I'll need later. And this is scrap. So 6.5, going to 6.5. Now, 1, 2, 3. I know I could have prepared these beforehand, but I wanted to show you how to get all of them out of one sheet. Okay, put that to one side, and I've now got my 3 contrast, and I'm going to fit on my panels. Now this is wet glue again, because it gives me a little wiggle room. To me it looks, I think I've cut this slightly longer. It looks as though I've cut this at 14, but it needs to be 13 and a half. So just adjust these. Okay, and here's my last one. I'll check my measurements before I do the next one. There, so I now have 3 panels that are all put together. Now let's bring in this bit again, because I want 2.5 by 13 and I want 2 panels. So to go for 2.5. And another 2.5. Just want to check those are both, yes, 2.5. And I'm going to my black now. Actually, I'm just going to check. I want 2 contrast mats, so I'm just going to check. Yeah, this was cut the wrong size. So I want 3 by 13.5. If you want to, you can do 6. And then you cut it into 2. Right. So we're going to mount up these 2. So there is one. And there's the second one. Leave those to dry. And we're going back to a little box. Take the clips off. And now if I just poke these, it should go down. And okay. So I'm going to take my bone folder, which has disappeared. There we go, buried it. And I'm just going to reinforce all of these score lines. Don't forget the ones that go across. And I like to open up and just score inside these as well. Okay. Right, so now we have the opening box. The back of my card is all covered nicely. So I'm going to take, first of all, one of my panels, and it's going to drop straight in to that centre panel. Okay. So there is centre. Each one of these panels is going to go on the outside. Make sure you get the glue to the edge. even up the little border all the way round. So you've got this white bit. And this one. There's no direction on my pattern, so that's fine. Right. So there is our basic card. Right, now I've got these two smaller panels which are a little bit more fussy to actually fix. So it slides down there. I want to bring it up towards there, and then we're going to leave that to dry. Slot that in. That is covering up the little tabs that we used to do the box. So I'm just going to let that just go off for the moment and look at this. This one I have got a bit that I've cut off my A4 sheet, and I've also got a bit of the contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare this one. This is going to be the belly band, using the full length of the A4. This can be any size to suit your design. So it could be a 1 centimetre, it could be anything. So I'm just going to leave that now to dry, and I'm going to open the decoupage. So let's have a look what's in here. So I have, this is my main piece because this has berries and flowers behind. This is my slightly smaller one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bird off here . So I've got a bird, I've got the full design here, okay, and that one I'm going to see if it will just slot in there. Okay. So I'm going to take that one now and slot that one in. Beautiful. Okay. So there is our design. These have already dried, so there is our box. Right, now let's look at what I've got left. I've got a bird, I've got a teacup. Now the teacup I think I'm going to use on the belly band. So that will be the finish of our card. And I'm going to take these, and all I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put my little bird on that side. You need to have some interest on every part of the card. So there we go. Now this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take that off there. I'm going to put these bigger flowers on this side, and they're going up to there. I do like to break the edge there, and where we've cut the bird's feet off, I'm going to put these two little flowers as though he's standing behind the flowers. Right, so that's just masked that off. But we've now spread the design right the way through. Our belly band is going to go in the middle. So let's bring the belly band in, place the card in the middle, and place the belly band round. Now you want to do it so it's not too tight. Right, we have a small overlap, so I'm going to use my strong tape. I'm going to place tape across there. And one of the secrets to getting the belly band so it's nice is just to take a spare bit of card, place it underneath, and then use that to just buffer this. So when I take that out, that is now able to slip up and down easily. So don't worry about the extra black there. So I'm going to go through the middle, couple of strips, and that is going to go on there. Okay. I'm going to pull that up a little bit so that it's not sitting on the bird's head. There is a lovely card, teacup on the front, bits of decoupage through there, and if I slide this off, obviously this is a little bit wet at the moment, so I'm being careful. So slide the belly band off, open your card, and it's a lovely card. You can add messages wherever. You could put a panel on the back of your message. Okay. Now I did promise you that there was another one for you to see, so I'm going to place that on there. Bring back this one, and like I said, this was two hunky-dory toppers. One I cut in half, and one I cut for the middle. Okay, so there's another one. The beginning one, right, was another set of decoupage which I have chopped up a little bit and used one on the belly band. I also had an oval piece on there to put the flower on. So let's see if I can slide these onto there. I'll take the belly bands away. Now I'm going to bring in this one. To all intents and purposes it looks exactly the same as this. So let me bring back my next measurement. Right, you can put extra flaps on it, and if needed you need to cut them 9 by 14, one for each side, and score at 2 centimetres. Let's have a look what that has done. There we go. So this This was the same if it had been a normal card, but if we can take a look, I've cut my extra strip, and I don't know if you can see just here, I've put the 2 centimetre strip down before I've put this one on. So like with our other one where we covered our tabs with this inner piece, if we're putting on extra bits, I've covered the seam with one of these panels. Okay, so instead of having 1, 2, 3 panels, you need a few more. So there's 1 panel each side, so that's 5. Close it, and you need 6, 7 panels. That's quite a weighty card, but it really is worth it, and it's quite a statement card when it's on somebody's shelf. Okay, so once again, this is just one set of decoupage which I have cut pieces away, and it doesn't really notice. Okay, so there you go. Happy crafting. Do have a go, and I'd love to see some of the creations that you make. God bless.